learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then it feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming into March 26, 2021, and the stock market is converging. And I got 3 stacks that I'm looking at coming into tomorrow. But today was a wild day. It started off looking pretty grim. A lot of people were bracing for red. We bounced up a little bit, then it started to look really, really ugly. Even the bond yields were coming up today. It was pretty bad for tech there, but ironically enough, everything still closed green. So we are seeing some of the stuff we've talked about play out. It's going to be very interesting. Got some news from the Fed after hours, but how it's setting up for the end of this week and now the end of the month next week, which is going to be a short week. It is going to be interesting, so I hope you're ready. But we got a lot to talk about. Want to go over what happened in the market today, what we're looking at tomorrow to wrap it up, the plays that we made, and then the plays we're looking at for the Froggy Friday. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes for open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the-stock-market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, if you want to learn how to not panic during a drop or market volatility while at the same time learning how to prevent a bear attack, then yeah, we are the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post or watch below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to chat, baby. So right off the bat, today was the biggest short squeeze since January. The market was looking very, very red today. Again, the NASDAQ was even down year to date. It's kind of amazing that we turned green, but now this was the short squeeze. You saw a lot of stocks, even GameStop and all that go up. Even bonds were very bad today, which makes it more surprising, but this is that converging theory we've been talking about. So this is exactly what I wanted to see today. The only confusing factor here was bonds. TLT coming down, that means bond yields went up. This ended that rally since December, so you're starting to see it level out, but you pull up the S&P, it looks like TLT just flipped upside down. So as the bonds are starting to stabilize, it's kind of stabilizing the market a little bit. But this is where I'm saying keep your eye on the bonds. And now we even have the dollar as well to watch, which is breaking out to a new high. So this is kind of it cracking. We need to see how it finalizes and stabilizes, or pretty much keep watching bonds. But now this is where things are starting to move and converge. So there's been a lot of dancing, but I think it's just going to take some time for all of the markets to kind of match up and then decide what they want to do. And maybe that could be at the beginning of the quarter. But as we open today, a lot of people were kind of fearful and they thought, well, maybe this rotation and sell-off could continue longer than people expected. So we will see, but bonds is going to be the key. Now, as far as news today, there wasn't much. That's what made today even better, because you were really, really red in the morning. There was some headlines with vaccine and all that, but for the most part, there was no bad news or good news. Oil was even down, even with the Suez Canal stuff. No updates on that. But the big piece of news, especially coming into tomorrow and the closing this week and even this month, it's the news from the Fed. So they came out after hours and they said that they are expecting to allow most of the banks to continue their dividends and buybacks by the end of June. So that's the final stress test. And they said they're expecting most banks will meet the requirements and will be able to start buying back their stock and then paying out dividends. So this is overall bullish. They moved a little bit after hours, but I think watching how this sets up into a Friday will be interesting, and then especially setting up into the last week of the month. But if anything now, what we want to keep our eye on is the bank stocks, and in general, they've been showing a lot of strength for the Dow Jones lately. So if anything, I think they've been the leader. So I will be watching for that digestion tomorrow. As far as everything else, though, did also get to hear from Biden today. It was his first press conference since he took office. There was no real market reaction to any of the talking points, but at the same time, the market wasn't spooked by it. So as he started talking, he began at like 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern. I believe it was like right around here. The market was right at close. So it already bounced a lot. It kind of went up a little bit, dipped a little through it. And again, even as he was talking, it just started coming into the close, and it did very, very well. So first press conference, president talking, not really moving the market, kind of different compared to the last 4 years. So that was interesting to see. No real policy updates. Again, a lot of the issues didn't really touch on finance or even the vaccine or virus too much. So there wasn't too much to take out from it today. But what I want to see is how the market starts reacting to the president and seeing him for the first time. So I really want to just start taking notes and just seeing how it was and what it related to. I saw that as very, very important. So that was the main stuff today. All in all, it really does boil down to this bond situation and seeing how we're turning the corner, everything with the market widening, the market rotation, all of that stuff. It looks like we're getting some light at the end of the tunnel, despite what the S&P is showing, or even the NASDAQ. That bond situation seems to be chilling out. It's matching up with this timeline. If we see things converge, obviously watch oil and some of that other stuff. There is a couple factors like China and some news we'll talk about, but overall it is starting to look like things are calming down, so I'm getting ready for that, and I hope you are too. But that is pretty much it, so let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I got 3 different plays that I'm looking at today, and of course the first one's going to be bank stocks. I really think this news is going to be important. You're getting the back-to-back with the SLR stuff. The bank stocks have been the leader this whole time, so I like them. I already have those JP Morgans. Remember, we made those free, those September ones, so those are still in play, and I brought it up over the last month or so. Citi, I like it. It has the most value as one of the bank stocks, so we'll see. There was a small reaction after hours. If you look at the bank stocks, you'll see they closed up pretty good already today, but then after hours, they popped up about another $1. So not too big, not too small, and that's why I think tomorrow on Friday will be very, very key to watch with them. And then with tomorrow being a short week, I think how they position for Friday and even Monday, that will be the key, and maybe they could be the leader or hint as far as stability or how things are going to be playing out here with the market. So I like that news. I want to see if that plays out or to see if it gets watered down by anything. That's going to be the first play. The second play is going to be HD. So we still had those leaps, and remember, they were down 50% when everything was dropping, and then after their earnings, but now they came up 50%. But the reason why I like them is that they're priced lower than last month. I'll show you on the chart, but if we start to see that broad market rally and you even get some momentum above $300, especially tomorrow, Friday, the Froggy Friday, I will definitely be eyeing some more of that. But if I'm able to confirm that there is kind of a value rotation or that the market is ready to kind of move all at once, I will really, really like that. So as far as the option though, this is that option that we had, the 350 for January. So it has about a little less than 1 year of time now. It's up 50%. I think we got it in the 3 range. But what I'm talking about here is that this is the price of the option. You see, it's kind of coming back to its 2021 high. These contracts are worth a lot more, but now you pull it up on the chart here. This is obviously a result of decay, and it's showing you, but the stock's at a new high, and the option with a decent amount of time is not hitting that high as well. But again, you come back to this point on November, that same option was going for $10. So what's the big difference? About 3 or 4 months, which is about almost like 25% of the contract theta. So, or time value, don't get confused. Not all about the greed, you know. So that's why I'm saying if you get a lot of momentum into the Dow and especially HD, and everyone's like, okay, the game is on now, people like it, and they start pricing more for the future and it gets crazy, I think that contract could go. So I'm going to be watching that one. That is going to be the second play. And then as far as the third and final play, Nike and Alibaba. So there has been a lot of China drama subtly heating up since the beginning of the week. You got comments from Biden. You've been hearing this back and forth at the beginning. They're talking sanctions, stuff about the Uyghurs and all of that. And that's where Nike kind of got mixed into it, with like something with China labor and then their treatment of stuff. Essentially, it's looking like there's starting to be an anti-Nike movement in China. It looks like they're trying to boycott Nike. So that's kind of negative. And then a lot of the Chinese stocks got crushed today. So even though we ripped a lot, Alibaba, JD, all of those, they really got clapped. So I think that drama is heating up. I already had plays on Baba. I was thinking that at the beginning of the year. And again, the Chinese stock market has been the lagger this year. It's actually been down, I think 12 or 15% now. So that is something that I'm keeping my eye out for, because I think that could be another external factor. But even in the midst of all of that, the premiums were high in the beginning of the year as far as puts, but now those Babas that I got are down like 75%. So the premiums are way lower than last month as far as even Nike as well too. So I want to see how that plays out, and if it develops into anything, I think that could be both very interesting and it could create an opportunity. So watch out for them. As far as everything else, again, keep your eyes on all of those Chinese stocks. Like I'm saying, you can see it on the charts. I know Baidu got really crushed, but I do want to watch other value names, even like McDonald's. It kind of relates to HD, but you're seeing how their momentum has stopped a little bit, but pretty much they've caught up, and this is where I'm saying things are starting to converge. So let's see now if they pick a direction, we might be able to snag something. So always like McDonald's in those opportunities. So watch all those. Again, JP Morgan, like I said, they're the stronger bank. Citi is the value. Watch Roblox. A lot of you guys were asking me about it. Some of you got some today, and this was an epic move. Again, no news or anything, but it hit a low. The daily chart, it looks crazy. A lot of you guys were asking me how I feel about this. Remember, we got that $50,000. I just feel like the range is very wide, and it's just going to be big swings every day. But people were really asking if I was going to buy more today. So I said anything below 60, I'd want to consider. I think I'd be getting a good discount. I was waiting for it to drop below 60. 60. It did not. I was thinking like 55 or 50, anything with a 5 handle I would have liked. I would have looked to acquire more, but stayed down here at the $60 range, and then as the market started ripping, they got a lot more steam, and then they just started killing it. So cool story, but at the end of the day, I'm just still in the same position now. I wanted some, but my price target is going to be below 60, and I talked about it today. At least if I make my price targets and what I'm looking for, I don't have to get too emotional with it. If it gets below there, I can react. If it doesn't, I don't have to. So I don't need to get emotional when it rips. I don't need to get emotional when it drops. So we're going to keep holding that, but still love the company. So going to be keeping my eye out for them. Watch Restoration. I brought this one up yesterday. It was a little bit shaky, but the fact that it held up post earnings on a big run up, I really like. So you can see here, it has momentum, volume, everything. I think that could be very good. I want to watch how that plays out. Watch how oil plays out. They did good today, and even the SPY outpaced oil. So oil was down a little bit. It just really didn't move much, but the market was able to go up. So we've been seeing a link between the two the last couple days, but just keep an eye out if there could be even positive news. If the Suez Canal gets unblocked, it could have a positive effect, but it's kind of interesting to see that it dropped oil this morning. But watch those in general. Again, that is like the second leg of some of the Dow strength recently, energy, so just keep that in mind. Watch Abivi. Their ex-dividend is in about 2 weeks, but they've been holding up ever since dropping. Again, they had that failed drug or delayed drug, so it's interesting where they fall on the value growth spectrum. So interesting to watch how they closed up pretty big today, decently big. So want to watch them coming into that, see how that plays out. Watch Intel. They did good again. I'm waiting for that double dip, or I want to see how it plays out. Again, that news was really good, so I think it got kind of dampened with all of the drama in the market. So watch for that to play out. We'll see it on Friday. Funko, they actually held up, been a volatile ride so far, so still holding that, got option on that. But watch the NFT stocks. It looks like the hype didn't die down, and like I said, the short squeeze today, a lot of the shorted stocks, even AMC, GameStop, all of that, they went up a lot. So let's see if the hype continues, especially if you do start getting the broader market pulling. Watch them. Watch Spotify. They dropped a little bit more, which was kind of interesting here. Again, pay attention to some of the stocks giving up, and it looks like Spotify has given up more. So I'm still holding the shares. We're taking even more of a beating on there, but I like them, and I think they will be a big turnaround name when they do turn around. But if it's not moving with the market, this one might be one you have to wait till earnings. So we'll see. And then finally, UUP and the dollar. We got UUP up here again. I've been telling you, wait till this cracks. It is cracking, so that could be the sign that bonds are stabilizing, and we talked about it today. I think it might base out around this range, and I believe this is like 1.6 on the 10-year. So it's chilling out here. Watch now, but you're starting to see. But the key is now, these last 2 days and even to end the month, do we start moving smaller in the bonds, or does it start taking sharp moves up or down? That would upset stuff. But if it could kind of slow down here and then even get back up to this range, I think the market is willing to ignore a lot of things, or at least I'm willing to ignore the market until it breaks out of this range, or pretty much above 144 on TLT. So otherwise, converging is still taking place. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it could come down a little bit. As long as it's not too much velocity, things will be chill. And then even if it goes up, you may or may see a correlation with the market. I think we might start to get a range around here with bonds. So we will see what happens, but we are not out of the clear yet, and we have to see how things finalize. And if anything changes quickly, well, everything will change. So I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to choose elective, babies. Welcome to the University of Life. But the code loves you. I love you. I'm gonna see you in the morning. Let's go.